It's Gurley power. It's the coach. This is the 2020 season on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Todd Gurley, fresh off a standout performance a week ago, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Houston Texans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, this place can get downright loud when the roof is closed, and that's the situation here today at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for the Lions here, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge under center will be their 6'5" quarterback, Carson Wentz.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Here's the offensive unit, and heads up, look out for the Clemson Tiger.
Sammy Watkins was brought in to make plays. That's what he specializes in, out on the perimeter or going inside.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Wentz going to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. But look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Lions. They played extremely well last week in that win over the Packers.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Wentz. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
Here we go, here we go. Wait, 80! Number 53, Mike 53. I'm going back to you.
Now the first carry here for Todd Gurley. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. The numbers on the ground for Gurley last week. 16 carries, 95 yards.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes the leading rusher.
And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Here we go. 180! It's our field.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Here we go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Now a play fake. Garoppolo. Philip Dorsett hauls it in. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That goes for a gain of 31.
That's just flat out a beautiful throw right there.
It was a rope. That's maybe the speed you would see on a slant, but he threw that downfield with that kind of pace.
Now, if he throws that one with any type of arc, puts a little air under it, that play doesn't happen. He had to fire it in there, and he did exactly that.
Our first update now comes from Atlanta. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. Saquon Barkley, a first-quarter touchdown there. Garoppolo on 1st down. That'll be taken in there by Miles Boykin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far.
Check. Lucky.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Garoppolo now.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys. His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it.
And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Philip Dorsett, his 6th touchdown of the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them right now, not a done deal. So they are holding down one of the final wild card spots. And with 2 weeks to go, there are others kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And imagine what the talk has been all week within their locker room. And it's really, let's rely on ourselves, because they could get help and still get to the playoffs. But who wants that? Go out, win the game, take care of things yourself, and then you don't have anything else to worry about.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. That's complete into the hands of Carson. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Nick Vanette, and it'll bring up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. It's caught by Aguilar. And he will get this to the midfield stripe, but that's not going to be enough. He's a few yards short. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here's Britton Colquitt now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. The Texans defense, we watch them get set to go. And despite being down on the scoreboard, this unit, they've had some big-time hits.
Sort of like us at practice the other day. I saw you take a running start at that blocking sled. You took it down.
Bounced off like a rubber band.
No, not at all, but you're exactly right. They are doing their job, but they want to add takeaways to it. You need to have more of those to go along with the big hits we're seeing.
By the way, when I tried that and I bounced back, I noticed that you laughed with everyone else. You didn't try to get in my corner.
No. Someone had just told me a joke on the other side.
Right,
I missed that. Totally missed it.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. Now Garoppolo. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
On 4th down, Matt Hawk to punt it away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Davis now to return it. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Gurley on first down with no blocking help there as he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 1. And our statistician, Ben Ramsar, just held up 3 fingers to remind me he now has 3 tackles for a loss only in the first quarter.
Well, Ben's got it detailed perfectly. He always gives us the right stats. I'd love to be on the offense's headset right now because what you're hearing is, can someone please block him? Come up with a scheme. Come up with something. Make sure you block him because he's disrupting everything.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. He'll throw underneath for Gurley. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. And now out comes Houston. So far they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Throwing is Wentz. And he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. And the totals for Sammy Watkins in last week's game. I asked him before the game, did you know that you were close to 200 last week? He said, oh, yeah, I knew I was right on the doorstep, just short of it, but a touchdown as well. Heck of a game.
I like that he was honest with you because they always know. They keep track in their head. They understand their yardage. But how'd you like to be the defense this week? This was a week of open field tackling practice because you know he's going to get his catches. The key is to limit him after the catch. Put him on the ground.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. They tried the throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Now Wentz. And he finds McDonald. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Here we go. And let's pin the mirrors back and go full.
Play action. Now Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
And our attention shifts to Todd Gurley. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Todd Gurley with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only 1 play to score it. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now we see Sammy Watkins getting ready to go again on offense. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I said just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts, one of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
The second down run for Burkhead. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. First target, first catch, and a first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On play action, it's Wentz. He'll hit Watkins on the crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
It's a nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Here's Carson. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. The Pro Bowler Fletcher Cox there to get him down. On 2nd down now, it's Carson. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a 4th down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. This will be a 37-yard attempt. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And we focus on Duke Johnson now. He only has a single solo carry. 1, numero uno, 2nd quarter. They need to get in the ball more, don't they?
I'm not the greatest statistician in the world.
Yeah, you are.
But a back like that with only 1 carry kind of takes me back to college in the classroom. Not enough evidence to declare what you should do the rest of the game. Give him the ball some more and find out.
Will they incorporate him? We'll find out. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down. Now a play fake here on 1st down.
Well, he obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender.
What do you mean by that, Bert?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then curls back inside for the completion.
Here's Gurley. And now running right through it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So on the heels of the run by Todd Gurley, another 1st and 10. Here's Garoppolo to throw. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. Now the ball comes loose, and the Texans scoop it. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
They run it with Carson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 12, Wentz. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. From the gun on third down, Wentz. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Brandon Graham in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far here in the second quarter. A first down run there for Gurley. But nothing opening up as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. On play action, it's Garoppolo. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And instead, they want to throw it off play action. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jannard Avery, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head, that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. With it is Jackson. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. Chris Carson trotting back out there. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Throwing on 2nd down. Wentz. They'll run the screen with Carson. Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
The Texans on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he coughed it up. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And our attention shifts to Todd Gurley. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
You got nothing.
Garoppolo looks to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Here we go. 180. 53. Mike, 53. Let's get the ball.
On first down, Garoppolo. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Lonnie Johnson picks it. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted them 3. 2nd and 7. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Fletcher Cox there for the tackle. Here's Wentz to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. And now the throw taken in by Chark. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 16 yards, a first down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Here we go.
Garoppolo now, 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. Garoppolo, a fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ross Cockrell, and his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
So first thing that crossed my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely, and from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Wentz dumps this one off to Chris Carson. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Now Wentz. Washington's got it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And it's going to be another first down as he'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 18.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
If there was one area that the coach emphasized in our pregame meeting, it was red zone offense.
In a sense I got from it, and I think you did as well, they weren't real happy with how they were executing previously, so they put a lot of time and effort into it because getting points is paramount. Doesn't matter what you do otherwise, don't leave the red zone without putting points on the board.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Wentz to throw again. This is caught. Watkins. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll begin in the NFC South. Tampa Bay paying their yearly visit to Atlanta. And that one finds the Falcons out in front. Josh Gordon, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head up to Cincinnati to check in on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting Jaguars. Matt Barkley, 2 touchdown passes thus far. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And they trail the visiting Chiefs in that one. Russell Wilson has thrown a touchdown pass. In the game you're watching, it was Jimmy Garoppolo who was brilliant in that first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Garoppolo. Dorsett's got it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards on the play, first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Garoppolo, 14 out of 17, 82%, and it's 1st and 10. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Here we go.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Here we go.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
It's Kareem Jackson making the play defensively. On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo. And that one's complete to Gurley. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
It's caught by Aguilar. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Wentz. Open man, it's Bennett. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
We won! Come to my world! Listen!
Throwing on first is Wentz. Completes it to Aguilar. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's game.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game. And all of them started with ball security in some form or another, understanding that taking care of the ball was the key to winning games. They can't believe what they're seeing right now because they spend all this time on it with the fundamentals, taking care of it, tucking it away, and they're not doing it.
Here we go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. On the counter, Gurley. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Gurley. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now a play fake. Garoppolo. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Here's Johnson. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
Let's go. Hey, we got
Garoppolo now on 3rd and goal. And he's got it. A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be 4th and goal.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. The kick by Lutz is good. They will stretch the lead now to 17-3. They took it all the way to the 1, but in the end, opt for 3.
Just doesn't sound right, does it? If you got all the way down to the 1-yard line, isn't that supposed to be a play in the end zone that culminates in a touchdown for your team?
And per usual, it felt like the guys on the sideline wanted to go ahead and go for it.
Of course they did, but of course head coach, it defers back to him, and he made the decision. Let's get 3 out of this, make sure we get some points.
Around the NFL, 3rd quarter at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And it's the Falcons that have just added to their lead. Nick Foles, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. A give to Burkhead on first down. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle.
On 2nd and 9. Wentz. He's going to flip one out here to his running back.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wentz. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Wentz now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, a give to Burkhead. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Carson. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From midfield, here's Wentz. And he finds McDonald. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. On the run, it's Burkhead. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now Wentz on the bootleg. And that's incomplete. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now it's Carson. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Defensively, they rallied the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st.
After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything, change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not, it's not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a 2nd time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that 2nd score here in the 3rd quarter.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Gurley. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
1 quarter remains here in Week 16. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Here we go. Ready?
Mike. So we got man. Sponge.
Again, they run with Gurley. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Ross Cockrell. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
16 yards, a first down. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You can have the first one for the second one to even matter.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Wentz. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. A gain of 6 there on first. They'll bring out 4 receivers. 3 of them being sent to the left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 4. Wentz now to throw. They dial up the screen here to Burkhead. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down up the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Obi Melifonwu. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Not that time for Watkins.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or 2, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
That one goes for 24 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Mike, here we go.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. To throw, it's Garoppolo. That one complete. He finds Shark. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Garoppolo looks to throw. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a fourth pick of the game. And now fourth down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
There's several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And Lutz puts this one through. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Nelson Aguilar and company getting set to go again on offense now. All right, so let's look at these numbers. I don't want to read the tea leaves here too much, but maybe he's in his own head a little bit after that hot start and the cool-off.
Sometimes that happens, and this is where you get tested as a player in this league if you truly want to be an impact player or a star, because that's what they're going to face each and every game. Extra coverage, extra people. So now, do you fight through it? Do you find other ways? Or do you allow it to affect you to the point where you're no longer an impact on the game?
I'm going to hit you.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Wentz. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. What a throw right there for the first down. He has taken some real punishment in this game, but still standing in the pocket completing that one.
He's a flat-out warrior. There's no question about that. How about him stepping up into the teeth of the rush and delivering there for that big strike and that big pickup?
Here we go. Waiting.
Get this worm on. Switch.
On first down, Wentz. Complete to Washington. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Wentz now on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Throwing is Wentz. And the pressure gets to him again. Fletcher Cox in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays. They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Now Wentz. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Bill O'Brien rolls the dice, but to no avail. And the Lions will take over. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. Been a very strong performance for them really on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs the most recent example, and now obviously they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 33 and a first. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half two.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one as he just did there.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 16 yards, a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here we go. 180! Hey, watch it.
On first and goal, Gurley. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Todd Gurley with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
So that drive, 4 plays. And last year's rushing and total touchdown leader Todd Gurley caps it with his first of the game here. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Wynn's going to try and throw on third. That's complete to his running back, Burkhead. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside. Not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the first. On first and 10, here's Wentz. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of 2 there. Second down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on third down. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Wentz to throw. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Burkhead. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. They'll run now with Burkhead. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. On 2nd and inches. Wentz, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now Wentz on 3rd down. He's going to let it fly. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
At the 1-yard line.
1-yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one. That's going to work really, really well for the guys who threw it.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. 2nd down and goal. Wentz. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Chris Carson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Texans get a bit closer.
CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 30-yard line.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Lions, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13 and 2 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to 8-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.